get set. Where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Now, brother teacher, I'm gonna put a link to his video below this. I like to watch this channel, and just like a lot of people like to watch, I don't agree with everything they say, but even sometimes if I disagree, it makes me think about things, and it'll make me research things, and I learn, and I like that. So I don't have to necessarily agree with you to learn from you. But my take on this particular thing is going to make me sound kind of mean. Now, he's talking about how much he feels instructors should charge for tests. He feels like instructors shouldn't charge any more than either $150 max or just the cost to recuperate and recover the equipment or the materials to, let's say if it's a black belt test, so you got to buy the belt, and maybe you might want to buy a certificate for it. If it's going to be a custom-made belt that's got their name and rank on it, and maybe some kind of Chinese or Japanese lettering on it or something like that, that would cost more. And maybe a small fee for your time. So I can understand that. Or maybe you're going to include the price of the rental of the space. If you have to rent a space for the test, you might include that in the test for one person or one or more people. And that seems perfectly reasonable to him. See, the thing he's talking about is how some tests and some ranking certifications, even some of the ones that I've got, cost $200, $300, $400, $500 or more. I've even heard of people paying $1,000 or $2,000 to be ranked and or recognized for their rank and accomplishments. I have two takes on it. I'll give the diplomatic one first. If your rank is going to be nationally or internationally recognized, or if it's going to really lead to some good networking opportunities, then I say pay the fee, for I have done so myself. Well, actually, the thing that I had to pay to get internationally recognized and certified with my style and everything for the 7th degree and all that stuff, and the recognitions in different organizations, I technically didn't pay for it. I literally prayed for the money, and the money showed up. That's all I'm going to say. I literally prayed for the money. I didn't even mention it to the person that gave it to me. I swear to you, I prayed for the money, and somebody said, I feel like being nice, and gave it to me. I was just like, because I said, dear God, you know, if you really want me to do this, please make a way. And he made it. So I was stunned. But see, my whole thing has always been, and there's some aspects of martial arts in terms of expensive ranks. Two things that always get to me: expensive ranks and inconvenient class times and locations. My mission that I've always said offline is I do that stuff so that you don't have to. So if you're a student of mine and you want to get ranked under me, I tell you, you don't have any testing fees, any contracts, and you just come to me if you want to get ranked by me. Now, if you want to get something that you know is going to cross over into here or there, it's going to be part of national this or international that, then you have to deal with that organization, and then you have to pay that fee. And if I know anything, I can, give you the information that you need if I already know what the information is, or I can point you in the right direction of someone you need to talk to. So the reason why I went ahead and also made myself quote unquote official is because it was required of the job. They came down, bam, in the park and rec service, and they said, hey, we want our people to be affiliated. Hey, we want our people to have these licenses and certifications and all this stuff for their ranking if they're going to continue to teach with us part-time. And that's the way it's going to be. And it happened. I was already affiliated anyway. But when that happened, and then the prayer got answered, I was like, now I'm really going to be rock solid in my method, especially. And I am. So if it's something that's going to lead to you being able to network with different martial artists and have access to national and international level martial artists and training and seminars and things of that nature, by all means pay the fee, because you would do that for any professional organization. Now here's the mean part. Now, if you know you can't afford it and you know you're about to get your lights turned off, you're not about to miss your car note, you can't pay for your medication, you can't pay for your kids' regular school because your kids' martial arts school is costing you too much, then you need to find another instructor. In fact, if you're near me and you feel like that there's an instructor that's just costing you too much money for you to either advance in Taekwondo or get a first degree black belt in Judo, or just you want to learn martial arts and you want to learn the Cecil method, and you feel like these other people are charging you too much money, how dare they charge you? I've heard of $1,000 and I've heard of $2,000 for a Shodan, first degree black belt. If you feel like they cost you too much money, I am available and I'm not going to charge you that. And I don't feel sorry for you. I don't. Because you know why? Because I know that you Googled and you looked around in my area, because when you type in martial arts near me, I pop up. And it's not just, oh, I know, I'm just Google myself. I pop up and people call me all the time. But because you think that when you read and you see no testing fees, no contracts, you think that low cost automatically means low quality, you get what you get. I'm sorry, you do. You get what you get. Now, I may be possibly the cheapest. I shouldn't say cheap. The least expensive. Or one of the least expensive. There are other instructors who teach for free. Yes, they do. They teach for free. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I know that whenever I really needed to train, even if there was an issue with cost, and I prayed on it, a teacher who teaches for free would miraculously show up for that part of the journey. And then when that part of the journey was over, oh, I got some money I could pay anyway, so then I'll go back to paying. But that's always happened. So I'm going to venture to say here that if you really wanted to train at an inexpensive price, you could, but you are brainwashed into thinking that just because someone is charging you a lot of money, they're automatically giving you something better. And however, I do not blame them for charging you the money. I do not fault them for charging you the money. I do not criticize them for charging you the money. I do not think that they should not charge you the money. In fact, I think they should do whatever is going to keep their business afloat, or even make them a profit, because you are willing to pay it. I know for a fact. So see, that's why I have no ill will towards people who are running storefronts. Now see, I don't want to be hypocritical with this, because on the one hand, I can go, well, I'm not going to charge you to take a test for me. But see, I already have a primary living. I make a primary living as a software tester. And I do not test software for free. Unless it's another martial artist that's asked me to do them a favor, then I have. Because usually if I test something for free, it's I need to keep my website testing skills up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'll just roll it in as part of my park and rec responsibilities. And I usually, if I can, I'll try to get them to come work for my part-time employer. So I got one person to join Park and Rec that way. Don't get a referral fee. I just felt like he'd be good for the county. So I don't fault them. So don't look at me if you run a storefront and you think that I think you're evil. I do not think you're evil. Not at all. People have called me who have been former students of at least one place. I'm not going to name the name, but I know I've gotten I think 3 calls from that same school of people who were unhappy with that school, right? They were unhappy with that school, and they said, well, what you think about them charging you? And I said, hey, you know what? For real, to be honest, if I'm going to keep it 100, If I gotta keep my lights on, I'm gonna charge you whatever I need to keep my lights on. I am. I'm gonna charge you for it. You want to pay, right? I say if you got my number and you're not kidding to me or you don't work with me, if you're not a relative, you're not a co-worker, and you got my number, you have my number because you got it from the martial arts site, and you had to read below. You had to read right down below the text where it says there are no testing fees and no contracts. So you know that there's a cheaper option. I've allowed people to train with me who come in there because the county said they don't have a problem with me doing it. I got approval. If you train someplace else and you've gotten their uniform and you just want to wear it because you don't want to spend money on something else, I mean, honestly, yeah, it is annoying. Of course, I would prefer that you promote my club instead of having someone else's club on your back. I mean, I am human. But I'm not going to stop you from doing it. I'm not going to discourage you from doing it. I don't want to let that come between you learning or continuing to learn. But what if people don't when I let them do that? I let them wear somebody else's logo and stuff in there and everything. And I teach them just like everybody else. And in the end, they just leave because they're so angry. They just get so angry, like with the martial arts as a whole, that I think they just get blind. And they go, because that one person charged me all this money, I just can't trust anymore. And so, or they just don't like what I'm doing. Because there are a lot of people who can't stand the grappling part. And then there are a lot of people who can't stand the striking part. And there are a lot of people who can't stand the forms. And then there are a lot of people who can't stand that I don't teach weapons before black belts. Even though you can't carry around those weapons with you. And also a lot of those weapons are not allowed in the community center. So if I bring a sword, I'm putting myself in trouble and possible risk if I brought a real blade or something up in there. Because all they're going to say, just like when anybody ever brings weapons in there, a child may get a hold of it. A child may get a hold of it. So again, you have options. You have cheaper options. So this, if there's anybody I'm being critical of, is the consumer. You consumers keep thinking that money is always directly tied to quality. It's not. It may usually be, but it is not always tied to quality. You should think about why. If you ask me why I don't charge this or that, you're going to get two answers. Number one, the county does not like for me to do this if I'm in a county role. And if you're trying to get me to come outside of my county role, from now on, I'm going to charge you about the rate that I get per hour for my day job. But there have been times when I haven't done that because I feel like this is probably just somebody trying to start a community program. I'm going to give them a break. But I'm either not going to charge because of that, or I'm not going to charge you that much because I have a primary living and I don't do that job for free. But I will give up this. Well, I should say I used to give up this for a lot lower cost. But from now on, I'm not. Now, if you're gonna say, hey, I want private lessons for you, or I want you to appear here outside of your hours at any of the community centers, your price is going to go up. So if you want the best price, come to one of the community center classes. It's very tough to beat. I don't know of anyone hardly who charges what equals out to $25 a month per person to come once a week, who doesn't require you to come more than once a week, who allows you to buy your own uniforms at whatever cheap price you get, who will even let you wear uniforms that are not even remotely related to the style. See, I meet all those needs. And I'm very flexible. And not that I don't have students, but you would think, well, if you would read the amount of complaining that people do online, if I would listen to the rare phone calls I get where people are complaining about price, you would think that I'd have hundreds of thousands of students. But I don't, because you're a slave to your own desires. You need to stop and think. And honestly, if you don't like what somebody's paying for a service, don't pay it. I understand you got that far and you feel like I got this far and oh, they're taking advantage of me because they know I want this black belt. But if you would just come to me and not just give up on all martial arts because you had one bad experience, if the style is a taekwondo type style or it's a judo type style and you're getting ready to get the shodan, you can finish it out with me and get that and meet that goal. You can. Because I certified up to shodan in judo, and now I'm certified up to 7th degree in taekwondo because I have ranks. That's what my ranking is currently. I'm not going to certify Kyusho Jitsu rank even though I have a shodan in that because I just don't have the space for it. But you never know. I may change my mind on that. So basically, if you're with me this long, you know how I feel. I agree with brother teacher, but I don't begrudge people who don't agree with brother teacher because you doing it, y'all. You doing this to yourself. And this video is getting long, but I'm gonna close on this. Just like when I told people, once I found out this myself, when I told people you don't have to pay to get your hands registered as a weapon when you become a black belt, y'all still don't believe me. Y'all think you know when you don't. I don't think I know everything. I don't think I know everything about software testing. I don't think I know everything about martial arts. I don't think I know everything about anything. But a lot of y'all think y'all do. And that's why you're getting yourselves into trouble. So I guess this may be some tough love or whatever. This may make me look mean or whatever. But hey, man, would you buyer beware out there so you can stop being taken advantage of? Because you're really just taking advantage of yourself. Peace.